Well, hello folks and welcome back into the greenhouse. I managed to get in here a few hours in between the job, still piling up inside the house. As we approach now the middle to the end of March, it's more or less sowing all the way through. But first of all, I'm going to cut away to a little clip I promised in the last one that I'd show you, and that's the propagator I've got in the loft with the peppers and the few onions in there. Just give you a quick look at the Vitapod in the loft, mainly the peppers. Seem to be doing okay. A bit on the dry side, I need to give them water. Those are a bit yellow, you might notice there, so I'm going to add a very weak drop of feed into the watering. Got some spring onions down there, a couple of tubs of celery, some more peppers there, and these onions are ready for pricking out now, and I think these are the ones that are called Elisa. Well, those onions you saw in the propagator here, these are the Elisa, and I've just started pricking them out now into these 12 cell half trays, and I think that's the third one. I'll probably do about 48 in total. Using this little tool here, this one I got, if you know Danny from Grow Up Gardening, he's passed these on to a few YouTubers as well as one of the Malvern shows. I did send him a text recently, showing him it's still working, but I think he must have been watching the rugby yesterday, so he's not surfaced yet. Here we have the mussel butter leeks. I'm not sure if I've filmed this before, but these were sown on the 9th, that was just a week ago. No sign yet, but these are only being kept at the greenhouse temperature. And I'll just pop the lid on. This here is if you know Ferrero Rocher, you can buy the in a little plastic box like that. These make an ideal propagating lid for the tub. Tomorrow is the 17th of March, and for all you Irish viewers out there, happy St Patrick's Day. Now that's traditionally the day when people think about planting their potato tubers. Not for me in my case, I usually leave them until at least the end of the month. Although we're in, say, middle of March now, we're still getting cold nights, although the daylight hours are extending. So what I'm going to do now is get through my couple of seed boxes down here, have a look through and see what I can sow. I'm not going to detail everything I do sow. What I'll do is I'm going to sow it, or if I've sowed it, I'll bring you up to date and show you what I'm putting into the propagator. I've had quite an intense session of sowing spring onions. First of all, on the left, I've got the white Lisbon. We've already sown some of them, you've probably seen, and this is just a follow-on crop. Next to them are ramrod, which are my actual favourites for spring onions. If you leave these, they will actually bulb up to quite a decent size, so you know you're not actually necessarily pick them when they're pencil size. Next to these are North Holland Blood Red, a lovely deep red colour and a good reliable cropper. And on the end there we have the Guardsman. These have been sown, you probably saw it 2-3 videos ago, just to pinch your seed between the fingers, then they're left to their own devices. Some of these will be kept back to go into the veggie pod, but most of these will actually end up onto the beds on the allotment. The new growers joining us, we'll be looking at growing some beetroot. Now, one of the most popular varieties out there is this one. It's called Bolt Hardy. I've grown this for years and it is a good, reliable cropper. Now, the seed of it is what they call a multi-germ, which means one seed will actually throw up 2-3 different plants. There ain't a problem at all. I use 2 different methods of growing beetroot. First of all, I'll use this 24 cell tray to sow them, and I'll put one seed in each cell and let that grow like that. Then another sowing, I'll do multi-seeds in each cell, and the difference being the single seed I just put out on the allotment, let them grow, and they'll grow to something tennis ball, maybe a bit bigger, and I use those for pickling. But the other ones which are multi-sown, I take those quite early. These are anything up to a golf ball size, and they're absolutely beautiful in salads. Right, let's crack on. Keeping an eye on the overnight temperatures, I notice they're gradually creeping up, and very soon we'll be into double figures. So now is an ideal time for me to start sowing lettuce. Said many times before, lettuce don't like it too high temperature to germinate, and I work on around about 15 degrees. So rather than have a big glut of lettuce, which I usually do and can't actually eat them all, I'm doing 4 different varieties and doing just a generous sowing of each, and I'll probably repeat this every 4 weeks. And the varieties I'm going for are Webb's Wonderful. There's my favourite oak leaf Navara, which is the red one. The other oak leaf, the green one, that's called Smile. And the Little Gem, which is a Cos type lettuce. So I've got little 7cm pots. As I say, just do a gentle sprinkling on top, and then a light covering with some vermiculite. I think it's about time I started having a look at sowing a few brassicas now. I mentioned probably in a few videos ago that the quantities and also probably the few varieties will be changing to what I normally grow. Our requirements have changed with my daughter leaving, and also I want to rest a few beds I think this year, mainly to actually get some new edging round and all. I don't want to be putting crops in there and then disturbing them by moving the soil around. So 1 or 2 beds I'll probably be just putting the black sheet over and leaving them for the year while they actually work on them. Anyway, I'm going to be sorting what brassicas out. I'll put a little ticker along the bottom if it hasn't appeared already of the different varieties that I am growing. And also for the new growers out there, there's a video coming up on this corner here, and also a link in the description in my Growing Made Easy series of how I grow the brassicas, right from sowing the seeds up to harvest. So if you're interested in that, take a look. For the brassicas, I'm using an 84 cell tray. When you fill these up with compost, put your fingers down each little cell just to make sure that you press all the way down and get rid of any air pockets. I'll just get to light water and then put some depressions in. Let's get sowing. I'm just filling the seed holes in now. I had a couple of rows left at the end, so rather than waste them, I've sown some swede. But once I've finished this, I'll give them a little water on the top, and then I'll run through with actually the varieties that I've sown. Right, all done and dusted. I'm going to put these in the small Vitapod, which will be set at 15 degrees. I've actually got the lettuce in that we sowed a little bit earlier. So this tray, this 84 cell, fits in there just perfectly. So I'll just pop the lid on, and I'll quickly now run you through what we've actually sown. I must say I really enjoyed that little sowing session. We started off, as you saw, with 4 varieties of lettuce: Little Gem, Oak Leaf Smile, Oak Leaf Navara, and the Webb's Wonderful. And then we moved on to the brassicas. Those are in the 84 cell tray. It's 7 by 12, and that's an ideal size, not only for the quantities that I want, but also it fits nicely into this half-size Vitapod. So looking at what we got, first of all, started off with the cauliflowers and my usual regular variety, Clapton. I've done 2 rows of those, and that's a total of 14 plants. And then we started off, another one is another cauliflower called Zaragoza. I grew this for the first time, I think it was last year, and it cropped really well, slightly later than the Clapton one. So that's why it's come on, and it's also a club root resistant variety. So if you're looking for an alternate to the Clapton, I can recommend Zaragoza. That's another one to look at. And then the final cauliflower I've done is one called Autumn Giant. That'll crop late in the year. Now, because I tend to grow F1 varieties, particularly on the brassica type things, you can be careful, and you get all your crop coming in a very, very tight window where you're inundated with. So what I tend to do is try and find varieties which will crop slightly later to each other, and you'll be seeing that as I've grown summer varieties, autumn, and even some winter varieties as well. Moving on next, we got, did I say Brussels sprouts, 18, three rows of that, so there's 21 plants on there. And then we come on to the cabbages, starting off with the dog cabbage. That's the greyhound. That's in memory of my mate, the late Dave Taylor. I've still got his pipe hanging up in there. Then we got an Ormskirk cabbage. That's a nice Savoy, which will crop later on in the year. Then also a January king as well. That's a very another good cropper towards the end of the year. That left me with 2 rows left in the cell tray. So rather than those go to waste and left blank, I decided to put in there some swede, the variety called Eleanor. And this was something that was put onto by Danny from Grove Garden. I grew it for the first time last year and got a fairly decent crop off that, so I've added it to my regular playlist as well. So if you are a new grower and you want to have a look at the Brassicas, take a look at that video there. It's quite a lot of detail in there for the various types that I grow, and it has proven well for me over the years. That's about it for this one. I hope you join me in the next one, where we'll be looking at sowing some of the more, say, the tender crops, shall we call it, the tomatoes, and also the cucumbers. And another thing to consider on the allotment, don't just grow vegetables. The last couple of years I've added more and more flowers on there, and it does brighten the place up. So we'll be looking at what flowers we'll be sowing to see us through the coming season. Many thanks for watching. I hope you join me in the next one. Until then, bye for now.